Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Wrestle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Hallbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Cory Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wrestle Rock. I'm very excited this week. This is the first time in 2 or 3 weeks, that we have an actual show. And not a pay-per-view. It's not a watch-along this time.
This is just a listen-along, folks. Just listen.
I don't know. For the short period of time I was on the last watch-along, that was really fun. Like, when we were kind of trashing the Nia Jax match.
Man.
Well, it was no good. It was absolutely not good one bit.
Well, she wasn't good. Everybody else was. I still think that spot with Shayna Baszler choking out Bayley with Sasha's arm was pretty dope.
Neat as heck.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Fun with Sergio and Burke. That was a pretty fun show.
The highlights are from that show are available up now on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
I really suggest you guys watch it. It's fun. Anybody that wants to watch it, go for it, because the what thing between Burke and Socio going back and forth, and then the whole champion conversation, which was great. There's a lot going on there.
I've been calling people a champion and have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm doing it all week.
I forgot all about that.
I'm keeping that one.
So, this is a weird episode. We got Cory Castle right downstairs from me, because God forbid we can be in the same room together.
Right. Yeah.
You're like,
this is the first time we've recorded in the same space, but I'm in a different room.
It's like a 70s rock band. You're just performing, but you can't be in the same room together.
Right.
Yeah, what were you at a party or something, and you got a chance to slip away for a bit?
Who? This guy?
Corey. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm going to the party after this.
Oh, okay. I thought you were at.
And it's like down the street from here, so I'm.
All right.
I figured it would make more sense. Also, like, I had stuff I had to bring here for you, so.
Yeah. I'm using a different microphone. Hopefully, this mic's a little bit better.
I just killed some birds with some big stones and such.
Or whatever that saying is.
However that, kill birds, stones.
There's a whole bunch of birds that are dead. Let's get into
in that analogy. Do people throw the stone, or do people slingshot the stone?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never actually seen it performed. Killing two birds.
You weren't there for the origins of it.
No. Let's get into the wrestling news. What was that?
I've hunted ducks, but I've never used stones. I don't know how that works.
You never loaded up your slingshot and just tried to take out two at once?
No. I think my stick on it and tried to shoot about 5 of them at once.
Oh, man. All right. We got some... say it again?
There's so much wrestling going on, like so much stuff. Where do you want to start?
I think the biggest news that everybody keeps talking about is the Vince McMahon, the latest ban that's happening with social media and the third-party content and stuff like that. He put this out, I think it was Friday. Dropped a big bomb on everybody that's engaging with outside third parties, like Cameo and Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that.
Up, down gonna go away now?
I think WWE owns that.
Really?
They promote it a lot, so I think they own a piece of it. I think Xavier sold a little part of his soul to keep that show going, so they didn't take it from him, which I think is at the moment is the smart move if Vince McMahon's going to do this to people. Yeah,
yeah, it is. I mean, because it's more for nothing else. It's more to go, hey, we exploit these names, the names that we create. We put a lot of money into creating these names, and this character is for us to use and not for you to use and you to make money. and you to get clicks for. It's for us to get clicks for. We're just, kind of greedy, but whatevs.
It's one of those things like you're saying, Corey. It makes sense because they own the rights to the name, they own the rights to the image. I mean, whatever, their tights, everything. They own the rights to all that, but it's just like you're really not going to let people have an opportunity to possibly make money besides the WWE. Like that's just. So, I don't know what's going on with Vince, man. I don't get him sometimes. Like,
hey, you know what? You know what the cool thing about that though? These are considered by you to be independent contractors, so they're not employees, not regulated by an employee handbook. These are entrepreneurial, independent contractors. So if you have the opportunity to make outside businesses by promoting, I think what I read was the origins of the upheaval was that Lana had posted some like energy drink on her Instagram, and like WWE was trying to get a deal with like Red Bull or something. Like that was maybe just some example, but it was something like, hey, since you've done that, you've screwed us out of this. And it's like, no, I think corporations need to like be able to separate what is. You know what I mean? Like if you have an exclusive with WWE employees should be exclusive to promoting your product. However, these aren't employees; these are independent contractors, so they don't have health insurance. So they're just trying to get, extra funds to insure their families and their homes.
There's a Democratic nominee or whatever for what is he going for? It's like the Department of Labor or something like that, who flat out came out and said that if he gets elected this November, then he's going after Vince for that. He's going to make sure that they can't do that. They can't call them independent contractors and then prohibit them from doing anything outside and not give them health benefits or any kind of security or anything like.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this is something also going on in the movie industry. So, like California is banning 1080s or 1099s. I mean, so no independent contractors in California. So, like as far as like the movie industry, when it comes to anybody who is a gig worker, they're doing away with that. So, like they're phasing out in California. They're phasing out Uber and Lyft and any of those services because they're not employing people. They're just their side hustle. That's how they promote it. So WWE for years has been gig workers, side hustlers, but it's been their main hustle. But they can't get side hustles now because like there's a threaten. I didn't even read that article, but it was like Vince McMahon threatened something, and I was like.
Let me get into the article here. It says Vince McMahon issued an edict this past week that talent can no longer engage with outside third parties, which would presumably include platforms like Cameo and Twitch. WWE held a call with talent last Sunday regarding the reinvention of the product. During the call, it was said that WWE owns the real names of talent, not just their character names. That's the part that messed me up, that they own their actual real names.
I'm sorry, he does not. He does not. Yeah. No human being can own your name. No corporation can own your real name. So by law, he's already. I don't know what it is. Like I said, he's just a crazy billionaire, and he's basically threatening these people's career advancement if they don't do what he wants them to do, basically. But he can't own their names. That's flat out. Like he can't do it. He can't own their trademark properties if they came in with that name too. He can't own AJ Styles. He can't because it's AJ Styles' own trademark property. Like he's insane. He's absolutely insane. And any wrestler they should fight him. They should. But the problem is they'll fight him and then he'll fade them away from freaking history. They'll fade away from television. They'll fade away from history.
Knuckle up. Fight him.
I mean, they all need to do it. Like, they're not going to get rid of the entire roster. If they all rise up and be like, hey, this is not cool. You cannot own my name. You cannot tell me that I can't go out there and make money. Like, if you take a look at Paige is huge on Twitch. She makes about $45K a month on Twitch. if Vince is saying that she can't do that, then they need to step up and they need to say, hey, enough is enough, and it's time for a not change. You can't change that. Because there's all kinds.
It's either that or Paige needs to go, this is how much I'm losing a month because you're going to take that away from me. You need to pay me this money that you're taking from me. And they can't fight that. They either have to pay her or she can do what she wants.
Right.
Yeah, or let her go and make just that money, and then maybe pay her severance if that's the case.
Or something.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like you mentioned, Mark. You mentioned up, up, down, down. I don't know if Vince owns a piece of that or not. What I do know, I watched that channel, and I know that every wrestler that appears on there appears under a different name. They come up with their own nickname. So I wonder if that's got something to do with it, because Adam Cole's on there. He calls himself Chugs. Xavier Woods runs the whole thing. He calls himself Austin Creed. I'm guessing because he owns that name. Everybody, Claudio's on there. He calls himself Big Swiss. So I wonder if they have, if they had prior knowledge of this, and that's why they were like, "Hey, let's do that," and then they can't do anything about it.
We are talking about Xavier Woods. The guy's super brilliant. So he probably figured this out a long time ago and knew that if he did this, they can't really control like what he's doing on there because it's all under different names. But like I said, Vince McMahon has a very powerful, legal firm, legal team. And he could send them after those. And it just sucks. I don't get this with WWE. I don't get they have to control every aspect of every character they have. I don't get it.
It's not even their character. It's their whole entire life. Like, this is outside of wrestling. Like, this has nothing to do with that. It has nothing. If Paige was going out there on Twitch and saying, "Hi, I'm Paige from the WWE. Please, subscribe to my Twitch channel and give me all those likes or whatever," then that'd be one thing. But they're not doing that. They're going under their real names, or they're coming up with a completely different name. So I don't get it. I don't get how you can have a problem with it. I don't get how it has anything to do with the WWE. It doesn't at all. And it's crap. It's a bunch of crap.
It's like,
is what I say.
It's Vince McMahon seeing all this money being made, and he's not getting it. And he wants.
I thought Rick was zooming in on you, scratching your butt for a second.
No, yeah, he was.
That's what it was.
He's trying to catch me. He's trying to catch me riding dirty.
It's like, does he know he's still on camera?
I'm trying to get comfortable. My wallet was digging into my butt, and it was hurting.
I got you. See, man, hopefully there's some guy, like you mentioned AJ Styles. Like, he has his own Twitch channel too, but if he owns AJ Styles, how can Vince come after that?
I don't know. I think what it is I think he can threaten them with how they like their push or whatever. He can like destroy them that way, because if they're not basically handing money to the WWE, like, he'll just take their career, and and we can't sit there and pretend that he won't. I mean, the guy's proven year after year that he takes personal grudges against people. So
yeah.
This is like
He's a real bully.
This is like something they really need to look into. They need to push it. It's time for him to go. It's time for him to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't understand the way the world works now. He just wants everything for WWE, and he doesn't understand independent contracting. He doesn't understand anything that he's doing. And he needs to step away, and he needs somebody else to run this and handle it better. Like, not some crazy old man who's 75, 76 years old, trying to control 20 and 30-year-old lives. Like, it's weird. It's just really weird.
Mayhem. Absolute medlem. Doesn't make any sense, man. I mean, let them have their little side. But nobody's on the road right now, so nobody's making anything from merch. So let them have their little side hustle. Who cares? And it's not. Some of them, it's not a little side hustle. It's a big, giant part of their salary. Like, people are making like thousands of dollars off of this. So
yeah,
I don't know. If Vince wants to step up and give everybody raises, then that's one thing, but he's not going to do that.
Do you remember when Jess first got signed to WWE and she went down and then you were like talking to her about doing this podcast? She's like, "Oh, there's got to be avenues that you go through. Like there's like agents that handle all this stuff. It's like by going to third parties, you're totally cutting out the middle person that's not like directing you to make sure you like hit the corporate buzzwords because of it being a publicly traded company and your likeness is part of the name that they own. So they're trying to like overly police and like the thing, it goes back to the thing that I've been saying about wrestling for so long. It's like, just let the boys and the girls have the creative mostly. You know what I mean? Just sort of point them in the right directions and get them the right way. But like, there would be no Stone Cold Steve Austin if you had like policed it this much. There wouldn't have been a Bret Hitman Hart. There wouldn't have been, the best time in wrestling. That stuff wouldn't have happened if you would have like shackled these people creatively.
Oh, yeah, that's a damn good point because it brings up that whole thing of they don't want a star that's bigger than the company. Like we've talked about this before.
It also goes back to holding grudges because he had massive stars and then they left, and now he doesn't want a star. He wants the WWE to be the star, and that's just not how it works.
Well, that happened to The Rock, and I mean, it really did. Like they had a falling out for a minute over some stuff, but it looks like they're going to go into business together over this XFL stuff. I mean, everything comes back around. It's all cyclical, but for a while he was a little boo-boo butthurt.
Understandably too, because it's you're not even controlling just the character anymore. Now you're controlling the actual person, right? And it's cool. It's not cool. You can't. These are very highly paid slaves almost at this point. Like they're not getting medical insurance or anything like that. They're getting a ton of money, but a lot of that goes into travel and expenses like that as well. So
for years, honestly, this is just like on a personal note. For years, people have asked me like, "Oh, why don't you try to go work for the WWE? Why don't And I'm like, it's not that easy. Also, when you work for the WWE, they kind of own you, and you can't really do what you want to do. Like, I don't want to be owned. I don't want to. I mean, it's like selling out more than anything. And like, I would sell out who I actually am, and I didn't ever want to do that. And when it came to like wrestling, I didn't want to change my name for anything. Like, I worked really long and hard on this name. I didn't want to use anything else. I didn't want to be a big, it's just shackled. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be creatively unable to speak my mind on things. And that, a lot of us in the business media and a lot of my close friends will talk about like, oh, we've spent a lot of time in this and we never like made it. We never like made. That's a good way for me to justify it is like, honestly, I got to be me the whole time. I got to be creatively fulfilled through this. And that's sometimes more valuable than crying in your Ferrari.
I don't know about you, but I want to cry in a Ferrari.
All right, me too, but I'll borrow yours.
I'll cry in somebody else.
More of a Lamborghini guy, but I'll go with a Ferrari. I'm all right.
Oh, that was the thing that Gary V said that a couple days ago on Instagram.
I just got a Kia Forte. I'm fine with crying in that. I'll stick to that.
I got it.
So there's a
rotating.
What else do we got besides Vince McMahon just being a douche?
well, apparently Brock Lesnar is a free agent now. He just did not. His contract came to it just expired, and apparently he just didn't sign back up. I don't know if he's planning on it, if he's taking some time off, or what's going on. But apparently now the UFC is trying to pick him up. They want him to have another big name match.
They're going to put him over for the title.
I think the story's honestly bigger than it really is. I think what it is WWE can't afford to pay him. He's also their main draw when he is there. They have no crowd, so they don't need him to draw. They don't need him in storyline right now. When he comes back, it's going to be massive. Will UFC give him the fight John Bones Jones? I don't think so. And I don't think Brock should fight Bones Jones because I think he'll get killed. He's one of the greatest of all time, Jones, and he's a murderer. He's 84-inch reach. Like, he's going to hit Brock with elbows before he even walks into him. And Brock's old, man. Like he can still go wrestling-wise, and don't get me wrong, wrestlers are tough. But when a guy's dropping elbows and fists for real in your face, like, he's kind of too old for that now, man. And he's got to worry about his health, and he's got to worry about that money that he makes in WWE. He makes $12 million a year. To throw that away to have, Jones knee him in the face and he could possibly be concussed to the point where he can't wrestle ever again is stupid. So I just think it's a bigger story than it really is. I see Brock coming back as soon as there's crowds, and they'll figure out who he destroys, and he'll be back as, and now Heyman's with Roman, so maybe he comes back as a face, and we see a reversal of that, and maybe it could be a better storyline in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That does sound like the better deal. Like, just keep on making your millions of dollars in WWE, and come back. Like, he's already said something to the effect of he doesn't want to wrestle in front of no crowd, which makes a lot of sense.
He wrestles minimal. He wrestles minimal, makes $12 million, and 9 times out of 10, the 3, maybe 4 matches he has a year, at least half or all of them are some of the best matches of the year. I would just go with that, man. Why do you want to walk in the ring with that murderer? Like I'm saying, Jones could get popped for roids or cocaine and never even fight him in the first place. But I don't know. I just see longevity. I just see a guy who's a major draw, major talent, and I see longevity. I don't see him popping up in AEW. I don't see him popping up in New Japan. I don't think either company can pay him, except for the WWE.
It wouldn't be worth it for him to do any of that, I don't think.
There's no one in AEW big enough for him to wrestle. In New Japan, who does he go against? Maybe Okada? Or you feed him to him or Naito or somebody like that. But then what do? You have to have the Japanese guy who will go over Brock, right? Like, you got to have your corporation guy go over him. And that just doesn't make sense to have Brock even go overseas. I mean, he'll take the paycheck anyway, but I just think it's a bigger story in a row.
Yeah, maybe he's just going to sit at home for a little while.
Yeah, he's just going to plow the fields.
Yeah.
Play with cows.
Crying his Ferrari.
He owned a Ferrari, is he just own a bunch of just lifted trucks?
Yeah. Bunch of Trump flags on lifted trucks.
In Canada.
Right. Trump flags in Canada on lifted trucks.
You brought up Roman Reigns. We saw that we're going to get Roman Reigns versus, is it Jey Uso at Clash of Champions?
Jey.
Or is it Jimmy? It is Jey.
I'm actually
yeah, that's never happened with the Usos before, where they've been in a singles title match before, as far as I can remember. So I'm excited for that.
Jey, both the Usos are beyond talented. I mean, they've proven it year after year, whether they open the show with the New Day, every pay-per-view or what. Those guys are great. And Roman's always been an underrated wrestler because everybody just can't stand him. Now to see a role reversal and see Jey fighting his cousin. And I guess this is going to solidify Roman as a heel. I guess he's going to hurt Jey bad at the end of the match. And I guess as a storyline standpoint, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'll definitely check this out. This looks awesome. Like, I'm definitely into seeing one of the Usos in the main event in a singles match. That sounds amazing. And when you bring in the whole family factor of the whole thing, like that just adds to the drama. So I'm all for that. With Roman as a heel in a singles match with Paul Heyman in his corner, like this all sounds. I don't want to say it's a dream match, but it's definitely something that I'll be looking forward to watching. What else is going on? We were just talking about SmackDown. They finally pulled the trigger on the Bayley and Sasha Banks storyline now. Bayley knocked her right the hell out. So we're going to be that pretty soon.
I didn't expect that on SmackDown. I thought they were going to pull the trigger on the pay-per-view, and they didn't. And I mean, it made SmackDown a better show for them pulling the trigger on there. I mean, definitely.
It's not even a pay-per-view!
I just think WWE doesn't do anything to really attract people to buying their pay-per-views. I mean, if Bayley turned on Sasha on the pay-per-view and a bunch of people missed it because they didn't pay for it would attract people to start buying the pay-per-views more. But I thought it was well done.
I mean, who buys them? Don't people all have the network or know someone who does?
But some people are still buying pay-per-views. They're still dropping $50-$60 to buy because they'll only do it like once a year for a WrestleMania or for, if they have some kind of if they're like, oh, I want to see that match, so I will buy this pay-per-view. That looks awesome. So we'll
whoever does that is just got to have such disposable income. It's just crazy because that seems like
it'll actually save the money unless they, prefer to steal the network from somebody else. But I mean, if they're just buying, if they're just dropping $50 on one pay-per-view every year, then they're saving what, $60 as opposed to paying $10 each month. I can't do math, but yeah, I think that's about. But
like, you get so much other. You get so much other value out of that.
It's cheaper to own the network and watch 2 major pay-per-views a year. It's cheaper to own the network. And I think pretty much they're still getting like so many 100,000 pay-per-view buys. And I know that's not network. That's people actually paying for it. So I don't know why they're doing it. It just doesn't seem economically sound to spend $60 and $70 per pay-per-view.
It's like
it's the fan. It's the casual fan is all it is. It's people that don't really watch it that much. They'll invite like 20 people over. It's like, hey, let's watch this on pay-per-view.
It must be those people have no idea what the network even is. Like, they must be so stupid. Like that. I can't even fathom it. What?
Why are they stupid? Why are they stupid? Why would they pay for a network that they're only going to watch once a year?
Because they have the option to watch whatever they want whenever they want. Like, if they're casual enough, like, it's a cool option to have to like pull up. Oh, what happened? SummerSlam '92. Let me throw that on real quick. Like, it's more of a value to have the option than to not.
Yeah, I guess. But what if you don't?
No, like I said,
maybe I'm making excuses for people I've never met. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It's if you're only into wrestling like during WrestleMania season or whatever, Hey,
if you're listening to the show and you know somebody who buys the pay-per-views, see if you can have them tell you why they do that, so that you can relate that back to us. Because I would really like, and I'm sure Rick and Mark would also really like to get inside the mind of somebody who would do such a stupid thing.
No, I don't want. I don't want to know. I just listen. I'll bang my head against the wall. It's like, spend $140 for 2 shows. It's worth it. compared to $120 a year for all this content and every show. Like, it's not worth it. It makes no sense to me. Every time they talk pay-per-view buys, I'm like, who the hell's still buying pay-per-views? Like, I don't even buy UFC fights. If I want to watch a UFC fight, I'll go to the bar that night. I'll drink with my friends and watch the UFC fight at the bar.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody's buying
People
it.
trying to stay socially distanced. People trying to stay socially distant from their money. Look, there's this distance between me and my money.
Yeah.
So I guess,
well, we had, speaking of pay-per-views, we had a AEW pay-per-view last night. It was All Out was airing last night. From what I'm hearing, it was kind of shaky. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it was just okay from what I'm hearing from the internet.
I heard Matt Hardy. I'd like to know what happened to Matt Hardy. Supposedly he he was supposed to land through some tables and he missed the tables completely and landed on the concrete and knocked himself out. But he completed the match. I just want to make sure he's okay. Jericho's match I heard was fun. So he helped Orange Cassidy get over, in his Mimosa match. From what I heard, mainly it was the MJF Moxley match was great, and a lot of it was more storyline teasing than the pay-per-view being worth watching. A lot of it was what the Elite linking up or whatever they're going to do with the Elite now, and it looks like Kenny Omega is going to slowly turn back into the cleaner. But they're teasing the Bucks are turning heels again, and I guess Hangman Page is going to be. They're still trying to push this guy as a face, and I don't know. This is my personal opinion. I don't see the big deal in Hangman Page. I haven't since they brought him on, and I guess he's going to be the big face. I don't know. They're still doing this. They're teasing this 4 Horsemen thing too, so I'm not sure who's going to be in that.
But I saw the ring gear that was made by Global Wear. That it was like they made like a Fear the Revolution had the 4 Horsemen logo on the back of these jackets, and there was one for each member of the team, and there was one for Tully. So it was like Tully and the Revolution. What were their names in WWE? The
Revival. No,
Revival.
They were. Yeah, that was it. They had a terrible name. That's all I remember.
But I saw the gear. If the Horseman thing is going to be Tully, Arn, and then the Revival dudes, like, I guess is Cody going to be a part of that because his dad was somebody?
I don't know what's going on. I thought Hangman was going to be one of them, and then I thought it was Cody. I thought it was going to be Cody, Hangman, and what are they? The Revolt or whatever they're called now.
The Revolt Cola.
That and the only thing I heard also is the Dark Order lost with Colt Cabana, and now it looks like they're going to start teasing Colt Cabana like possibly going against Brody Lee for the TNT title. Like they're going to start like building a storyline. But everything I watched from the results, all it looked like is they are building for more storylines for the future, which AEW does very well. But they're a company, they don't have a network, so I'm not going to pay the Fight Network, whatever that pay-per-view costs, just to watch them further storylines in a pay-per-view. A pay-per-view is usually supposed to end storyline. And
it's one thing you want to do like every once in a while. You want to throw in like, oh, this isn't the end of this feud, or this is going to set up something. You if it's setting up something for a future pay-per-view, or for hey, you got to watch AEW on Wednesday night to find out what's happening. That's fine if it's every once in a while. If it's like every other, if it's like 2 matches out of the pay-per-view. But if you're setting up at the end of every match on the pay-per-view is set up for something that's coming down the line, then why watch the pay-per-view? Just wait until, just watch the results on AEW for free on TNT or catch it on YouTube or something like that. Like, what is the point of watching? It was, what really, this is before we get into AEW. This really pissed me off with the NXT show, the NXT match on Tuesday. Oh my God, I was so upset. I was so visibly, yeah. You're going to set up that great of a match. You're going to have a 4-way dance that's a 60-minute Iron Man match with possibly the 4 greatest people that have ever been in NXT, and you're going to end it in a tie. What the hell? Why?
Just so you can get more ratings for the next Tuesday to watch those two wrestle.
I'm not going to watch next Tuesday because I'm freaking pissed off. Because why sit through an hour for a 0 finish? Have they ever in the history of Iron Man matches, has there ever been a tie that didn't carry on?
They always say there's gonna be a 5-minute sudden death. We're gonna get a finish. Right. Like, absolutely needs to be
right.
Honestly,
it's just
they could have eliminated that Bronson. What's that Bronson?
Bronson Reed.
They could have eliminated his match, gave that 4 or 5 minutes of that match to the end of the Iron Man match, and had Cole and Finn Balor go at it, and let's see who's going to win. And that in a sudden death overtime type thing, and it would have been great. And instead, now we wait till next week.
The draw of the match for me was a 60-minute Iron Man match with those 4 great people. Like, that's why I actually took time out of my day to watch that entire show, because I'm like, all right, this match is going to be awesome. I never do that. I always catch YouTube clips the next day, but I actually watched it live.
Who were the 4 people in the match?
It was Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay.
In a 60-minute Iron Man match. Like, that's on paper, that sounds amazing. But if you're going to end that in a tie, I wish you would have told me ahead of time so I could have saved 2 hours of my life.
What was the point of even watching it? Yeah. Like, if
hour
I
long.
read or heard about an Iron Man match and how good it was, and then they were like, oh, the end was that it was a tie, I would just not watch it. Like, as a fan.
Well, this goes in with the AEW thing we're thinking about. We're talking about. I don't want AEW falling into that WWE pattern. WWE does pay-per-views that are basically another form of SmackDown or Raw, just to further storylines, and you never really get a finish. And then you go to NXT, and they do a 60-man Iron Man match. You want to see a winner after an hour of your time's invested in one match. And they're like, see the winner next week. Come watch us again. It's not cool. It's not. They do not get that. It's not. We're investing time, and they think, well, invest more time. And it's not.
Right.
It's not for us.
Right. Well, honestly, the idea of culture right now, the current culture is so many things are so quick to have a resolution. There's so like a feud starts and stops in a week. The build-ups don't happen. But when you're starting to build something up, like, pay it off for the people who invested their effort in time into watching this storyline. Like, don't not give a finish and then act like you're going to give one next week for a tease to watch next week. It's like, no, just give us what we want right now as fans, and give us something. Give us something different next week.
Yeah,
I was more pissed off at the end of NXT this week than I was when Nia Jax won the tag titles at the last Payback. I was.
What do you mean when she was like, when she was running around like the belt? I guess she's like, oh,
Mom, this is yours, Mom.
NXT is champion this week.
I could see Rick's eyes when that was going down, and you could just see like steam coming out of his ears.
So NXT pissed me off more than that this week.
She's not like most girls.
Ugh. Why? Because she sucks. So yeah, for NXT to suck more than Nia Jax this week is a big deal in my book. I was very, very upset. NXT is the champion this week.
Real champion.
The real champion, NXT. You're being a real champion. Oh yeah, let's get back into AEW. I just had to get that off my chest. We had a pre-show match, 2 pre-show matches with Joey Janela and I can't even say his name. Serpentico, is that how you say it?
Serpentico, yes.
I don't even know who that guy is, but Joe Janela went over on him. They had a good match with Private Party and the Dark Order. They're just calling these guys Dark Order number 3 and 4. Is that what it is? Is it just like random people in it? Is that how it works?
It's John Silver and it could be.
And,
I mean, that's
well, it's a cult.
Reynolds, yeah.
It's a cult, so they're basically supposed to be like, I guess their identities don't matter anymore because they're part of the cult. I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it. But Colt Cabana's mask, you know, even though he's been on there for a while. And the girl, I forgot her name. The girl choked out Brandy Rhodes last week. She didn't have a mask either. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, speaking of the girls, we had Big Swollen Britt Baker, this tooth and nail match. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. This was terrible. This was just basically a fight in a dentist office. It wasn't good.
The finish, she gave her anesthesia until she went to sleep. I mean, that's what I want to see in wrestling.
This was bad. People complained about the Money in the Bank through the building thing, whatever. But geez, man, I thought this was awful. This is why people say AEW has the worst women's division in wrestling. Like, this was awful.
Yeah, but then they kind of salvaged it with Sheeta and Thunder Rosa, who
yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched it this week. It's definitely one of the highlights of the entire week. Is Thunder Rosa wrestled the girl from what was CM Punk's the Society?
Oh, Straight Edge Society.
She wrestled her.
Her Serena Deeb is her name.
Yeah, Serena Deeb. Fantastic match. Those girls killed it. And then it's like, then you get Britt Baker and Swole like tumbling around a dentist's office for like 10 minutes. Thunder Rosa and Sheeta, from what I heard, I just got to see the results, but from what I heard, it was one of the better matches on the card.
Mm-hmm. They had that Casino Battle Royale thing. No, I usually don't either, but I catch the results. They had that Casino Battle Royale. I think this is the first time they did it where it wasn't on the pre-show, or if it wasn't the first match. Lance Archer went over. He threw out Eddie Kingston. I think Kingston should have won this match. I'm kind of tired of Lance Archer. Like, since he lost in that match with Cody for the TNT title, like he just hasn't been really. Not that he's not impressive, but he just like I think he lost like a lot of steam, and now he's apparently going to go after Mox's title. So, not that it will be a bad match, but I don't know. I think you would definitely have more. I think a better match with like Kingston and Moxley. Are you kidding me? Like, that would be insane. But I don't know why you wouldn't get that.
But
they're both kind of baby faces, though.
Is Kingston babyface?
I don't know. I haven't watched. I don't watch it.
He's not babyface
anymore.
But he's with the Lucha Bros, and I'm trying to think who else, and they're all heels. So he's basically just a.
Oh man, what do they call their faction? Oh, it's so stupid. What was the name of the faction? Oh man, somebody. Damn it! It was so stupid. The name of the faction. Oh man, I have to look it up because I remember thinking, man, how stupid. Sorry to anybody who's my friend who might be in a stupid name faction.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
I don't get Lance Archer already getting a title shot anyway because all right, we just had the MJF feud, which was short. They never finished the Brian Cage feud. That's not really. I don't think they really finished that. And now you're going to throw Lance Archer at Moxley, and I don't see Lance Archer winning this. I don't see Moxley dropping the belt anytime soon. I don't understand it either because I really think they should have went back to the Brian Cage stuff because I really think Moxley versus Taz on the mic was really, really fun. Because Cage can't talk, but Taz is, woo, that boy's still good after 20-some years. Like
the Death Triangle.
Is that what they're? No, the Death Triangle.
Yeah.
But that was before. Wasn't
With
that
Pac?
before? It was with Pac, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Death Triangle. Such a stupid name for it.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh man, I do like Taz though.
Circle wins the square on that one.
Taz is great on commentary. He's probably the best part, or at least in my mind, of Botchamania. If you ever watch that, they always have.
I watch it all the time.
Yeah, of
the Taz ramblings. Yeah.
Yeah, Taz and Tony Schiavone go back and forth. They have no bones about it. It's like, yep, that was something stupid I said. Oh well, like they make fun of each other for it all the time.
You know what? Though? You know what? It's way more entertaining. Them just going out there and calling a match, and they mess up, and they call each other for messing up. You kind of connect with them better. Like they
humanizes them.
They're human, and I love Taz on the mic. I think as a commentator, he's one of the best ever. But if you haven't seen it yet, find a clip. I forgot. Brian Cage in the Battle Royal put Darby Allin in a body bag full of thumbtacks and threw him over the top in the body bag.
I heard. Yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah, I heard about it.
It sounds excessive.
It's very excessive for a Battle Royal. Yeah, I'd say it's a little excessive.
Well, Darby Allin and Matt Hardy, like especially Matt Hardy, I was like, I don't get this level of extremism they keep doing in AEW as it is. I don't mind garbage matches every now and then or some chairs or whatever, but this is just sometimes this is unnecessary. Like the level of violence they're putting on themselves. They're not even doing it to other wrestlers. They're doing it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes no sense to me.
No. Especially in front of no crowd. Like they don't even get the pop for it, you know? It's weird. Let me run down the rest of this card real quick. Young Bucks beat Jurassic Express. Matt Hardy beat Sammy Guevara and almost killed himself doing it. Shida beat Thunder Rosa. Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares of Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall defeated the Dark Order, which was Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. We talked about that a little earlier. I would love to see a Brody Lee and Colt Cabana match. FTR with Tully Blanchard beat Kenny Omega and Adam Page. I'm waiting for that Adam Page heel turn, which I think is going to be great. Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho by knocking into a vat of mimosa, which is hilarious. And then Moxley beat MJF. There was a lot of talk about MJF possibly walking away with the title in this show, and that just didn't happen. Good match from what I've been from the clips I've been seeing, but it's funny. Moxley beat him and then just kind of grabbed his title and just shrugged and then was like, "What else do you want?" And then he walked out. So it's a back and forth thing, but yeah, you can tell it's mostly that just them setting up for future shows, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I just don't want them to fall into the WWE trap of instead of using pay-per-views to finish feuds and end storylines just to keep continuing other storylines. I don't mind if they set up new storylines as they're going, but if it's just used like as basically an in-between show that they want people to pay $60 for, it's not cool.
It's not worth it. They during the Attitude Era, as far as pay-per-views went, you always got those half finishes, or whatever, the false finishes or the disqualifications, all that stuff. You always got that on Raw and SmackDown. Basically, Raw and SmackDown were setups for the pay-per-view. Like it was basically just a 2-hour commercial for the pay-per-view coming up, and you would get like hardcore finishes on the show, on the pay-per-view. And it was just it was done so much better. And I don't know why they won't go back to that. Maybe it was a formula of we need people to tune in to Raw and SmackDown, not just the pay-per-view. You know, they're not going to tune in to see a match that they know is most likely going to end in disqualification or a count out or something like that. So I don't know. Corey, what the hell are you doing?
I was stretching. You took it off of me. I was laying down and stretching.
He's like trying to do yoga in the middle of the show.
I just saw your little screen down at the bottom there, and I'm like, the hell are you doing? Are you taking a nap? All right, guys, it's about that time. That's fine. It's about that time to get that spotlight shining on one person who shined better and brighter than anybody else this week. And let's do it with that segment that we love to call Who Wins Wrestling. Who wins wrestling? Blah, 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 blah. Who wants to go first? Whoever wants to take it.
I got it.
All right, what do you got?
I was going to pick AEW until that finish as a whole, because NXT as a whole until that finish, because the last 2 weeks, now that NXT is on Tuesday, NXT seems like it's the old NXT again. But I'm going to go with Dominic Mysterio. Hell of a match he had on the pay-per-view. He looked 10 times better than the week before on the pay-per-view before. And then he had a great match on Monday, even though he lost. It could have been interesting to see him in for the title hunt, but which was supposed to be Rey Mysterio's match anyway. But Mysterio's hurt. I think the kids. I think finally he found his confidence, and now we're starting to see the talent that I guess WWE's been seeing for a while, and that's why they're pushing this kid. He's going to be somebody. Like I said, he needs a little more weight, and I think he should be wearing a mask like his father. But we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. I have to go this week with Matt Hardy, not because I thought it was a great match or anything like that. I just want him to get his name out there in Who Wins Wrestling before he dies, because this isn't the first crazy mess. This isn't the first crazy bump he's took since being in AEW. The whole crazy gimmick that he has going on, I think it's not necessarily just a gimmick. Like, I don't think he really goes around and says that he's, broken and all that stuff. I don't think he's that, but I think he is a little bit insane. And, just to the point of he's going to injure himself if he doesn't watch it. So, I'm going to go with Matt Hardy this week. Corey, what do you got?
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
What?
His promo on SmackDown was really cool. It was cool seeing him outside of the advocate role, and he was like what he called himself, the counsel or something. He called himself like the
private counsel or something like that.
Private counsel or something, and it was really cool. And it was like, it had that classic Paul Heyman twist to it, whereas like he's adding new things to Roman and like making Roman cooler. And what do you call it? Like the tribal warrior or something. Like it was like he is such a pro at like making people, you know what I mean? Making somebody legit. So it was funny. Like when he called Corey Graves the Carmella's latest boyfriend. And what else did he say in the promo that was good? A couple other things he said that were really cool in the promo. So I want to say Paul Heyman wins wrestling again. Like it used to be almost every week we'd say Paul Heyman, and it's been too long, so I have to say it again.
Yeah, man, Paul Heyman's great. He's always been great. I think he's always going to be great. He belongs in front of the camera, man. He needs to. We missed him there for a little bit with Brock going away, and now that he's with Roman, I think it's all gonna be good. This is I love having Heyman back. That'll about do it for the show, everybody. Mark, do you have anything to throw out there? Anything to plug?
Nothing
again.
I'm gonna take a nap before I go to work. That's about it.
Corey, what do you got, man? Don't do my plugs.
I just recorded yesterday episode 200 of my podcast. That's a big milestone. I'm excited about it. And I like the evolution. I'm sorry, what?
You recorded an acoustic album with that guitar behind you.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to plug. Check out Evolving with Cory Castle on any outlet where you listen to podcasts or subscribe, and make sure you check me out on YouTube. It's just the same as what my Twitter and Instagram are. It's at Cory Castle, CoryKastle. There's no ad, of course, on YouTube, but for sure, check it out on YouTube because it's a cool little video element. And I posted yesterday. I had Raina Williams on from the X Factor, and she performed her song "Take a Moment," and it was really cool. It was very, very cool. So check that out when you get a chance. I mean, it's not wrestling content, of course, but check it out and let me know you exist. Like I always say, if you like the show, if you watch us on YouTube, make sure you comment below. Make sure you follow us on all the outlets, and make sure give us your feedback. Let us know you exist. And
definitely, man.
Be safe, have fun, and thanks for consuming this content that we give you every week.
Thank you, listeners, very, very much. It's very cool that you are listening. And please, yes, do reach out. Feel free. If you want to reach out to me, you can do so right here. Rick_matters. Right there. That's me on Twitter. Also, check out my other podcast that I do with Mark's sister, Karen. It's called It's Something to Do. It's on iTunes and wherever you listen to podcasts for free. So check that out. Check out our merchandise store at teespring.com/stores/rassle-rock. Everything on there is 100% of all those proceeds are going to different charities. Also, as usual, as always, if you want to see this live, you might be watching live right now, or you might be watching the video right now on my YouTube channel, but it's tinyurl.com/YouTube Rick Connor, CONNOR. You're going to see a whole bunch of wrestling matches up there. I have a whole bunch more coming soon. I found a match with Adam Cole recently. I found a match with Axel Rotten recently. I'm going to be throwing all kinds of stuff up there pretty soon, and you're going to want to stick around and check that out. So please like, comment, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And that will about do it for this episode of Wrestle Rock. I'm Rick Connor.
Mark Habacher.
Cory Castle.
And let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Wrestle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.